Hi, boys and girls. We're going to be working in our coin packet again this week. So please find it. It looks like this, and you've already done some of the pages. So I told you last week that we were skipping this page and moving it to this week. So we're going to talk about it today. So I'm going to teach you a coin counting strategy that's called Hairy Money. Yes, I know that sounds really silly, Hairy Money. And this is your Hairy Money helper. So that's like where you would put your name if you want to. Like I would say this is Sally's Hairy Money helper. And we're going to say that every coin except for a penny has hair on it. A quarter has 5 hairs because each hair stands for a 5 and you count it by 5s. This will all make more sense in a little bit. So a quarter is worth 25 cents. So it has 5 hairs because we go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. A dime has 2 hairs because it's worth 10 cents. And we go 5, 10. A nickel just has 1 hair because it's worth 5 cents. So we just say 5. Now a penny is only worth 1 cent. You don't count by 5s at all when you count by pennies. And the hairs are what we use to count by 5. So we don't need any hair on him. He's bald. So we're just going to put a dot above a penny to remind us with pennies, we count by 1. Okay, so let's go through this again. How many hairs does a quarter have? 5, because it's worth 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. What about a dime? 2, because it's worth 10. 5, 10. What about a nickel? 1, because it's worth 5. 5. What about a penny? He's bald because he's only worth 1 cent. So we just put a dot to remind us to count by 1s. So the Hairy Money strategy is supposed to be easier for us because we can just count by 5s when we skip count, just 5s and 1s, and we don't have to switch between counting by 10s and 5s. So I'll explain it to you. If you find it confusing and the other strategies that we've already used work better, that's fine. Whatever works for you. But I'm going to turn ahead. We already did couple of these pages last week. So we're ready for this one where I wrote, remember your cent sign. And I have a Hairy Money helper over here that we can refer to. So I'm going to show you how this Hairy Money strategy might work. So what coin is that? That's a nickel, isn't it? Well, nickels are worth 5, so they have just 1 hair. So I'm going to actually draw the hair on my nickel. Okay, what coin is that? That's a penny. Well, a penny is just worth 1, so I'm just going to put a dot. He's bald. He doesn't have any hair. What about a dime? A dime has 2 hairs because we go 5, 10 because he's worth 10 cents. What's that? It's another dime, isn't it? Just the other side. So that's 2 hairs. What's that? That's a nickel again, the other side. How many hairs does a nickel have? Just 1. And that's a what? That's a penny. And a penny just has a dot. He's bald. Okay, watch how this works, guys. You count the hairs first. And then after that, you count your dots by 1. So we go like this. And as I count the hairs, I like to mark them off just to make sure that I don't count them twice. So I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, freeze, 31, 32, and then don't forget your cent sign. Does that make sense? The other way we would have done it is to skip count by 10s, 5s, and 1s, where we would go 10, 20, freeze, 25, 30, freeze, 31, 32. If that way makes more sense to you, do that way. Okay, let's do another one. Hairy money time. These coins are the same. What are those coins? Yes, they're pennies. Do they have any hair? They're bald. So I'm just going to put dots above my pennies. What about that? What's that? It is a nickel. A nickel's worth 5 cents, so it has one hair. 5. What are these two coins? They're the same size, aren't they? There's the back, there's the front. What is it? A dime. They're both dimes. Dimes have 2 hairs. 5, 10. And then, what are those coins? Those are nickels, and nickels are worth 5. Okay, hairy money time. Remember, I count my hairs first by 5s, and then after that I freeze, and then I count by 1s. So let's do it. Count with me this time. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, freeze, 36, 37, 37 cents. Okay? If I count the other way, like we did last week, I would count my 10s, my dimes, my nickels, which are 5s, and then my pennies. So I would go like this. 10, 20, freeze, 25, 30, 35, freeze, 36, 37 cents. And I get the same thing. So for today, and please listen carefully because I'm actually dividing this page up, you're going to do this one and this one by yourself or with adult help. But I will say, even if you do it by yourself, have an adult check it. And you might want to explain this hairy money strategy to them. You and the adult can decide whether this is a good strategy for you or whether you should stick to the other way. You can see what makes the most sense to you. Then we will practice more tomorrow. Just so you know, there aren't any quarters on this paper because the standard that we're practicing in first grade, you don't have to count quarters yet, but that is a challenge level 4 skill. So if you're finding you can do this easily, then an adult that you're working with maybe could get out some coins and have you also practice with some quarters. Because with this hairy money strategy, it actually makes counting quarters, I think, a little more, a little simpler maybe than the other way. But you can decide. So do these two, and you can practice with real coins if you'd like to. Of course, on IXL, you'll get more practice too. Remember, if you already have medals on the IXL money skills that I have stars by, go ahead and do the other IXL money skills this week. So that's all. Thank you.